Yes, sir. Let's get started.
All right. Here we
All
go.
right. It's official. Welcome everybody to today's webinar. We're so happy you're here, and we're happy to be here for you. To get the most from this webinar, we want you to take lots of notes. And we want you to text your questions using the question section on the control panel.
Which is right there, yeah.
There's actually two sections, and then there's a chat support as well. So if you've got technical questions, if you could use the chat box, that would be awesome. We've got Sarah on the line. Sarah's going to be helping with any technical issues we have, and then I'll be monitoring the questions. You can reach Darryl after the webinar anytime at all the social media channels at Darryl Speaks. Darryl is the author of 3 books, real estate books. That first one you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate. They're all published by McGraw-Hill. That is the best-selling real estate book on Amazon. Darryl is also named one of the top 5 real estate coaches by Riz Media. If you don't know all those other folks, that doesn't matter. They're not here to speak to you today. Ha ha.
That's the one time Julie gets to tell a joke, and she's not very good at it. All right, go ahead, Julie.
We'll leave that to you. That's your strength. Darryl is also the recipient of the CSP award, which is only given to 2%, less than 2% of speakers worldwide.
Yes. All right. So let's get this party started. All right. Thank you, Jules. Thank you very much for teeing it up. Couple of things we're going to get into, or one thing, give me about 5 minutes before we dig deep into this. This is a question I want to address. People ask, is this webinar a sales pitch? No, it's not. But what it is actually a training program for our power agents. So we have 2 types of people on this call. We have power agents, then we have our guests. So from time to time, I'll be talking to our power agents. Now the guests, there's a tremendous amount of value for you. And so still pay attention. If you want to become a power agent, you'll see on the bottom there on the screen, thepowerprogram.com/webinar bonus. We have a bonus for you today if you want to become a power agent. And so let me just share with you, and actually, Julia, what I need to do is, I just noticed a problem. So what I'm going to do is, give me 1 second to turn off the screen. Tell me that the screen is off, Julie.
It is.
All right, because I just noticed a super duper problem. And so give me 1 second, everybody. This is the
fun. Bobbin and Weaving we were talking about.
Yes, this is what bobbin and weaving looks like.
That's right. Well, while you're doing that, we do have a whole flood of new people that are on the line that have just come on. So those of you who are just coming on the line, please use that that little question section on your control panel to ask us any questions that you might have.
Awesome.
Darryl had a great tip earlier. Some of you are having audio or technical glitches. If you do turn off any streaming that you might have, that would be great, because that usually tends to slow down your connection.
Yeah, if you have other streaming, if you have firewalls, those two, that'll slow it down. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Sarah's on the line too, so she's going to help us with any technical questions that we might have. If you have audio or technical glitches, please just refresh your screen or change the way that you're listening.
Do you see me right now? Do you see the screen right now?
I see you, and I see the slides.
Okay, good. So thanks for that, Julie. So anyway, if you all just want to make a note, the non-power agents, people who are guests, pay attention to that website there at the bottom, because we are going to do something for you. But real quick, just to give you an overview, the power program, we started in 1993, and our power agents on average go from 15 transactions to 35. So they more than double their production, and our average power agent actually generates an additional 33,000. I will tell you what we're finding right now is being a power agent is more important than ever, truly, because there's things that we're doing for power agents to help them in this new real estate reality. It's only $27 a month. People cancel anytime. Their first 30 days is only $5, so you can kick the tires to get a sense of it. And there's a bonus for you today. Now, here's this a little training and this a little educational moment for not just the power agents, but everybody. The philosophy that we have in our training, but this is a teaching moment. So even if you're not a power agent, I want you to hear this because it's an important distinction about real estate sales. There is 3 skill sets that we need to improve upon and always be working on at any given time as a real estate professional. One is our attitude, right? Our attitude dictates our altitude. We talked about in the beginning of this call before we officially started about not getting the virus of negative possible future thinking because of what's happening in today's world. It is more, if you go out into the cold or out into the stormy weathers, you put on a raincoat, you put on a uniform, if you will, that protects you from the outside elements. In this crazy world, you can be infected by the negative thinking that exists. Now, I'm not saying not to be informed. I just don't want you to be infected. I want us to all practice healthy things because of what we're dealing with, but we've got to still move forward in our lives. So attitude is real crucial. The other skill set we need is the listing and selling skills, knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. We're belly to belly, face to face with a buyer or seller. And then the last is the business skills, because we are all small business people. And I want you to know that small businesses actually make up the majority of our economy, not the major corporations. They're very visible, but it's the mom and pop small businesses that even now Congress is focusing on saying, we got a problem here with the small business, because if they go out, they employ more people, right? So you are a small business person, and so you got to think how to run your business like a business. So those are the 3 skill sets that we try and focus on in power agents. Now, I want to remind the power agents, so I'm going to talk to them for a second. Power agents, in this trying times, do not forget that every Monday we have our coaching calls. That when you log into the Power Program website, it gives you the telephone number, the access code, when to call. Don't forget, we also have the monthly magazine where we're interviewing top agents to find out, like especially now, what are they doing to deal with the challenges of this new real estate reality. The classroom, we're doing a makeover, but we're really excited about this. We're going to be launching this. We've got to take screenshots of the new pages that we're launching, Julie, and share those out to people. When you click on one of these sections, there is a plethora of downloadable forms, checklists, and all that stuff. So gang, make sure you're using this in your business. Right now, in this new real estate reality, it's important that you be using the tools that we have. Now, by the way, one of the bonuses we're going to give you guys, if you're a non-power agent, we're going to give you this 6 Steps to Double Your Income. It's an ebook that we wrote. But you are getting, even if you don't become a power agent, we lined up another gift for you. I'm sorry, that's the next screen. Give me a second. Power agents, next Thursday, March 26th, we're going to email you a link to this. Actually, let's just tell everybody, Julie, what is the website for this? Because give me a second, gang. I'm sorry, I've got so much in my head here. We're creating a virtual training workshop for you on this specific Corona thing, how to deal. Today, we're going to talk about prospecting, the 6 things, right? But this webinar is going to be broader, and we're going to go specific on some strategies. This is next Thursday. This is an added webinar that we've just put together, or virtual training, I should say, given the current state of things. Julie, what's the web address for people to register for this specific one, not the Massachusetts one?
Virtualagentworkshop.com.
Virtualagentworkshop.com. Please write that down, everybody. Virtualagentworkshop.com.
I'll send it in the chat as well.
And okay, awesome. All right, so let's get started here. Oh, here's the bonus I'm going to give you guys. For those of you who become power agents today, we have another book for you that we're going to give you. It's the 12 best ideas to getting listings. So, all right, let's get this started. I do want to give a little extra. So we're going to talk a little bit about conquering the Corona concerns. So I do want to spend a couple of minutes on this because I know it's on everybody's mind. First thing I want to share with you is respect other people's beliefs. Now, there are people that have different beliefs about the current state of things. Some people are, and don't worry, gang, we're not talking all coronavirus on this. We're going to spend a couple of minutes talking about the concept of what we're faced with, and then I'm going to go into those 6 specific listing lead ideas for you. But first, this, respecting other people's beliefs. So some people are like, the corona, what's I thought that was a beer. I got no problem, right? Some people are just fine with what is happening. They don't even see it as a big problem. Maybe it's even fake news. Some people think that. Some people think, you know what? This is crazy. Lock myself in for 2 weeks. So here's the point. What we need to do is respect wherever people's beliefs are with this. Don't think anybody's being a hypochondriac or they don't care enough. That's the first, because we got to come together. Number 2 is I do believe we should be practicing social distancing in this time. You know, just here's how I'm looking at it. I'm assuming everybody has the coronavirus. Not that they do. I'm just assuming that if I assume, and I'm assuming I have it too. So if I assume that I have it and other people have it, that concept will help me manage my activities appropriately. So I do my part to contribute to being socially responsible. I'd rather practice being safe than being sorry. You know, if it's not a big deal, well, me practicing social distancing is not a bad thing anyway. You know, it's a safe way to go. Third thing is focus on today's truth. I talked about this earlier. There's a lot of people that have opinions that we may be faced with another recession. Some say depression. Some say that the real estate is going to drop out. You know, listen, we don't really know until we're there. You know, the future will take care of itself. All we can take care of and focus on right now is the present. What's right in front of us? We can't control what happened yesterday. We can't change that. We certainly can't change or predict or control the future. But what we can do is focus on the activities that we do right now. And here's what I do know about real estate. What I do know right this second in your market, wherever you are, there's somebody who wants to buy a house right now. And I also know that there's somebody who wants to sell it to them. So what we need to do as real estate professionals is find those people and help bring them together and help manage the emotional roller coaster that people are going through. Number 4 is plan for the worst, hope for the best. We've kind of touched upon that. I do love Warren Buffett's quote. He said not too long ago, and just love this. He said, when people are greedy, we should be afraid. But when people are afraid, we should be greedy. In other words, right now there is a lot of fear, but in that fear, people are making a lot of decisions, a lot of bad decisions, some good decisions. But here's the point. There's opportunity in this. Like if you just to go outside of real estate, because it's such an obvious, if you look at the stock market, we are back where it was about 4 years ago. Well, the market did go up and it hit a big number. So if people bought into the stock market today, that is like buying in the past 4 years ago, and they're going to see a huge gain. I'm sure people like Warren Buffett are not selling their stocks, but they're actually buying. Same thing is true of real estate. There's opportunities. We're seeing interest rates. I'll show you a slide in a minute where we are in the interest rates. So I'll get to that in a second. And this is crucial. Civilians need us more now than ever. You know what? I'm sorry. I noticed that I'm getting a little fuzzy here. I'm cleaning my lens. I don't want you all to think I'm drinking in the morning here. Do you see that, Jules? Am I out of focus here? All right. I'm trying to fix that. Okay. Do I look? Is the camera working too? What?
You are out of focus.
I am in focus?
You are out of focus.
I am out of focus. Okay. So there we go. That's weird. Okay. All right, now. So civilians, let me tell you something that power agents have been telling me, gang. Power agents have been telling me that they're getting the two top popular things I'm being told. Number 1 is buyers are getting houses easier than before. There are buyers that are really committed to buying, and what they found themselves in is multiple offer situation, and they were losing houses that they wanted to buy, right? Now that they're finding is that they have less competition of other buyers, and the agents tell me buyers are actually getting their houses that they wanted. So that's a big, huge plus. The second thing is that there's more homeowners, especially, that are coming to realtors looking to us for help because they're concerned, they're confused. Well, should I sell now? Shouldn't I sell now? How do I if I want to sell and I really need to sell, and how do I let people in? And I'm worried about the virus. So there's more for sale by owners that are looking to work with realtors. That's an opportunity for us.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for real estate professionals. What's happening right now is opportunity. That's what's happening. And this is how we have to see it. Now, I'm going to show you, and those of you, I'll tell you how we're going to get you a copy, those of you power agents, but this is a Fannie Mae. I did it well, it's right there on the 12th. This is the mortgage rate, the 30-year interest rates for mortgages, 3.36. I look back 10 years, and what I found is 7 years ago, it was at 3.35. So we are 0.1% of meeting where we were 7 years in interest rates. And this is even better if you go further out. So my point here is, gang, we are at a 7-year low on our interest rates. That's an opportunity for buyers, okay? So, all right, let's go on. Here's the 6 strategies. Let's talk about the 6 strategies. First one is for sale by owners. Now, one of our power agents, Michael Ardolino, he generated 71 listings, 64 sales the first year of real estate because of what I'm going to share with you now. This happens to be my strength, calling for sale by owners from the stage when I do our live training. My batting average, if I speak to 4, I'll schedule 3 appointments. So I want to give you some concepts about working there for sale by owner, given this my strength. Number 1 is, there may still be some FSBOs that are more committed to price. The people that are committed to price, we can't help them, so don't worry about it. There are some people that advertise, say, you know what, if I get my price, I'll sell. If I don't get my price, I'm not selling. We can't help these people. Now, once again, opportunity in this new real estate reality, there's fewer of these FSBOs now. The ones that are committed to price, they're freaking out, they're fearful, so they're not advertising. We're going to see less of that. That means that for sale by owners that you do call are better quality. This is why, even in this kind of market, you want to still work the for sale by owner. As a matter of fact, in this type of market, you should work them even more. 2 reasons why. I'm recapping. Number 1 is the ones that are actually for sale by owners in this crisis, you know they're serious. So this weeds out the people who are committed to the price. Number 2 is they're probably more open to working with us because they don't know how to deal with this crisis as a for sale by owner. There is no right time to call for sale by owners. I get that question all the time. Should I call them in the morning? Should I call them in the evening? Should I call them on the weekend? Should I call them during the week? There's no, you know what? It's like a diet. There's no right diet. It's the diet you're willing to commit to and do consistently. So it's got to be a consistent. So either pick the same days of the week or the same time, but be consistent and work in this. Number 3 is get past the 60-second hump. Most for sale by owners are really good at getting, if they want to get a realtor off the phone, they're good in the first 60 seconds because most agents don't last 60 seconds. So that homeowner has practiced their own dialogue and they've mastered it in that 60-second segment. If you can think when you're making your calls to the for sale by owner that you want to keep this for sale by owner on the call for at least 60 seconds, I promise you, you're going to see that conversation shift dramatically, that 60-second hump. When working for sale by owners, there's 3 phases of mastering. The final phase is actually getting the listing. Like listing a for sale by owner is like winning a Grammy or an Emmy. This is like, you know, or a World Series ring. This is like big deal getting the listing. But the phase before that is actually getting an appointment. Meaning that when talking to a for sale by owner on the phone takes a different skill set, different dialogue than when you actually are face-to-face having a listing conversation. Now, today we're not talking about the listing appointment. I'm not even going to dig deep on doing the phone call because I have 5 other things to teach you. So this is just one of the 6. But anyway, getting the listing is the final phase. One before that is getting the appointment, but the first phase is just making the call. Point being is for most of us, we don't have fear. Fear has us when it comes to just picking up the phone and making a call. What I want you to do, if you're that person where you're really just wigged out about making a call and you procrastinate and you find other things to distract yourself, listen, for you, your accomplishment is having a breakthrough in you mentally not picking up the phone. So if you made 10 calls in one day and you got 0 appointments, I say you had a breakthrough, because it took a lot of you pushing you and having a mental breakthrough in that, making those calls. Julie, gang, just deal with me 1 second here. I'm going to try and fix this.
I was just going to ask you to.
Yeah, thanks, Jules. So we're going to try that, and I think that's going to fix it, okay?
Yeah.
So, good. All right, let's go back to that, gang, because I can see. Okay, so there we go, making a call. So focus on having a breakthrough and you just picking up the phone, gang, and making these calls, okay? All right. Oh, and one other thing. Well, let me go back. One other thing about this. Let's say this coronavirus, it gets more where, I don't know, we find ourselves staying home more often, whether by choice or by mandate. This is the time to sit. You're in the house. Right, Julie? Right? Just sit in the house and make those calls, baby. But Darryl, what do I do if I get the appointment? Well, you can go there in a hazmat suit. No, I'm just kidding. One of the things we're going to talk about on the webinar next week is how do you do a listing appointment without actually going to the house? How do you show property without actually bringing the buyers to the house? This is part of what we're going to cover on that webinar next Thursday. So, all right, let's continue. So the dialogue, I'm not going to go through the dialogue, but power agents. So I'm going to talk to the power agents for a second. You have this script in the website. And also, in addition to that script, I just want to point out to the power agents, when you go to the Power Program website, under the tab called Classroom, then go to Webinar page, you will see there was a recording I did for a whole hour on just calling the for sale owners and the expireds. That was the title of the webinar that you see on your screen right now. And there was a whole hour just on this one topic. You know, this is, we're trying to cover a lot, gang, so I can't get into the dialogue. It's in that webinar. One other thing you can do with for sale by owners, in addition to the phone call, is mailing out things like this that we give the power agents: for sale by owner marketing rules, how to price your property, stage your home, blah, blah, blah. And another example of a mailing is, excuse me, please, for sale by owner, trying to get idea on how much you ask for your house. All you need to do is pick up the phone. I'll do it for you. So there's mailings and pieces that you can send out to for sale by owners in addition or in lieu of making your calls. This is one of the, there's a whole series of letters, power agents, that we have, like one goes after the other, where you can, I think we have 20 letters you can mail to a FSBO every day until they either list with you or call you up and say, stop mailing me. Another thing, a lot of homeowners don't realize how much we do as real estate professionals to help them. You know, so power agents, we created the 100 reasons to use a real estate agent. You know, if you're a non-power agent, you know, again, we'll give you access to this in a moment towards the end of the call, but you can create your own. Sit down and think about what are all the tasks, all the marketing, all the things that you do. Put it together in a nice format. Put your information at the bottom, your photo, and that could be another mailing piece. Also, this would help you on your listing appointment. You know, sometimes we have to validate our own value. If we want to ask a higher commission, some of us, I'll bet you if you took the time and you sat down and you thought about all the hard work that you do, you'll be sold on you see. So, gang, all of that is under the prospecting tab, power agents, all the flyers that I just showed you and the brochures and stuff like that. Let's go on to number 2. So number 1, best feature right now is the for sale by owner. And I'm going to just say one other thing, power agents, you know, I've been pushing FSBOS and expireds, in addition to all the other, we teach 12 things. Today we're just talking about 6. But in this coronavirus world, this new real estate reality, to me, FSBOs and expireds are better than ever for
And they need
us.
more than ever.
What's that?
They need an agent more than ever.
That's why. FSBOs and expireds, if I was hot on FSBOs and expireds before the coronavirus, I'm even hot on it more so now because they need us more now than ever. But here's the good part. They recognize now more than ever that they need us. That's the point. They're easier to work now than ever because there's a different listening they have for us and what we bring to the table for them. Now, let me tell you the mind of expired. When you're calling expired, here's how an expired is feeling. First of all, they may feel rejected because they put their, watch this, they put their house on the market for 3 months, 6 months, and it hasn't sold. They are so discouraged to the point where they may have even lost the vision that they made the choice to sell in the first place. They may have given up on the next level. They say, you know what, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Maybe after the virus, we'll think about it. So part of calling it for sale, an expired, gang, is you've got to breathe life back into their commitment to their next level while they were moving. Doing the right dialogue to say, where are you moving to? Why there? What? Let me ask you this. If I could help you get back on track and get you to move to where you were planning to go, and if it made sense for your financials, that's something you'd be interested in. Well, listen, my company is really good at helping homeowners such as yourself in a similar situation who tried to put the house on the market before and didn't have success. I have a 5-point plan that I cover. I would love to find the time when I come over, look at your house, sit down with you, go over this marketing plan specifically for expired houses, so that way you can get moved to Florida like you originally planned. Wow. So that's what we have to do. Number 2 is expireds are kind of like fruit because they get ripe. See, sometimes they don't sell the first time, but almost always, and I'm going to talk about this in another bullet. Let me see if it's the next one. Yeah, you see what happens is because they went through the experience 3 months, 6 months of trying to sell at this particular price and it didn't work. Now you come over, you talk to them, they already got it. Okay, that didn't work. They're more flexible for being more aggressive with their price. And if a FSBO comes out, which is going to bring me to the next one, if they come out, you've seen this, any of the experienced agents on this call, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've ever seen an expired listing come out with a different company at a lower price, it almost always sells quickly. That's why I call expireds like fruit. They get ripe for that new agent to list it and sell it. So, as I said earlier, part of making the calls to an expired is using that right dialogue and bringing that commitment back to the surface because they may feel discouraged. So make sure you use that right dialogue. Also, mailings. You can do the same thing with the mailings to an expired because sometimes it's hard to find the phone number for them. So you can knock on their door. You can stop by. Not today. I wouldn't do no door knocking now because even if your community, see, that's the other thing. See, I'm from New York. New York is one day away from the governor saying, you know what, we're just going to quarantine the whole state. Everybody, there's a curfew. Like we're one step away from that. But then I know some of our power agents in South Dakota, I think in the whole state, they got one person who tested positive. It's a joke, but the point is the power agents are saying, our market is still great. People are still showing it, like they're acting as if it doesn't even exist, the virus. So it depends on where you are, but for most of us, probably not door knocking because you don't know, even if you're not concerned in your market, you may knock on that door where a homeowner is concerned and they may take offense that you're doing that. So I would look at that as a possibility, focusing more on the telephone and mailings, right? Here's that same thing, power agents, in your website, there is a tremendous amount of letters for just the expired that you can send. Julie, how many letters do we have for expireds? I don't think it's as many as the for sale by owner. Here's letter number 7. Do you know? Don't check. If it's off the top of your head, Julie, I don't want you to waste
I don't know
time.
how many are in the system.
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think with the expireds, I think we have just 7 letters for the power agents. The for sale by owners, I know was like 20. We had a lot more. But power agents, all of these letters for expireds, for FSBOs are all in that prospecting tab for you. The third best source is old FSBOs, old expireds. I'm not talking about senior citizens. I'm talking about people who tried selling 3 months or 6 months ago. You know, some of what happens, those people that tried selling months ago, they weren't successful. Their plans may have become more urgent. So and I'm going to tell you another reason why I love you calling and working old FSBOs, old expires, is it helps you get better because you're practicing on these people than for the current FSBOs and expires. So I tell power agents who are looking to get started in prospecting and they're really afraid of the FSBO expired, just call the old expireds, old FSBOs to get into the zone. Same thing, you can do a mailing campaign as to why now might be a good time if you can't find those phone numbers. Another one is I have a buyer looking in the neighborhood letter that you can send out to people. We represent a buyer who's looking at homes in the neighborhood calls right now. This is a model where you can actually make it look like a handwritten paper. Vacant land. Now, this is not FSBO expired. This is a little bonus, but vacant land. There's some homeowners who have vacant land that are saying, you know what? I'm thinking we should cash out before the market does change, before there is a depression. See, that's the other thing, gang. There's some investors who are thinking, you know what? The stock market just did what it did. Real estate has not done that yet. Let me cash out before it does. So you've got some investors or people sitting on vacant land that's thinking, you know what? I'm going to cash out now. Now's the time to sell. Some of them want to sell and buy into the stock market, you see. Right? So look for those investors. Look for the vacant land. Call these people, send them letters. This is a good time to maybe liquidate your asset. This is how you talk to investors. I love this idea here is where you can actually show the community that, hey, listen, real estate's still popping. It's still listing and selling. You know, a screenshot you can use. I think this is, how did we do? I think this was Zillow we did. I know or Realtor.com. You punch it and it doesn't give you the details, right? But you do a screenshot, you print it out, and then you mail it out to everybody saying, here's all the new houses that are for sale. You can do the same thing. Here's all the houses that sold in the neighborhood. So people be like, wow, this is, well, what house is that and how much? And it may generate some calls for you. So I love that idea. I'm sorry, that's a redundant one. Let's skip over that one. Power agents, same thing. These are all in the prospecting tab for you. These are ideas. Now, power agents, I had somebody sign up for the RedX. Gang, let me tell you, RedX is an incredible thing. I'm going to show you because these folks will put on a silver platter FSBOs and expireds for you. One of our power agents, Tina Rossetti, she does so well, makes a couple $100,000 a year. She's really good at this. So anyway, this is what it looks like when you get an account with RedX. By the way, power agents, you got a big deal with this company. This is a separate company. This is not our company. We're not involved in it. But what it does is you punch in your town, I'm sorry, not your town, your county. They do things by county, right? So whatever your county is, you sign up for the county, and then they populate their software tailored to you with all of the FSBOs, all of the expireds. And then when you click on one of those leads, this is what it looks like. There, you'll see over to the left, you've got the homeowner's email, their address, their phone number. Over to the right is their property, a description of it. They have their own dialogue. Now, this dialogue is really horrible dialogue. Well, it is. They wanted me to put in there our dialogue, but I said, no, it's only for our power agents. But what is cool, if you'll notice in the top right-hand corner there, it says edit. So what you can do is click and edit, and then you paste the power agent FSBO dialogue in there, and that's what our power agents do, okay? And what's really cool about the RedX is that it can help you track all of your notes. You can leave voice message. You can pre-record the voice message. It'll leave it for you. You take your notes. So gang, this is an incredible prospecting software where they're just handing leads for you. And the average cost, if you were to do everything, you'll see how it has all the green check marks there, expireds, FSBOS, Geo leads. If you got everything, that's what it costs a month, $359 a month. But Power Agency, you don't pay that. First of all, you get the first, you average about $150 a month, because not all Power Agents get everything. Like they may not get the storm dialer or the pre-foreclosure. So fine. The average Power Agent gets FSBOs, expireds, and I think one other, and it's coming out to like $150 a month. And that setup fee, Power Agents don't pay that. So Power Agents, make sure that you're accessing, you're signing up for that, and just contact the office. If you don't have that account, they'll tell you how to do that, all right? And you also get the first 30 days free. I forgot that. So you don't pay anything with RedX for the 30 days. We love that. All right, number 4, how are we doing on our time? All right, number 4, past clients. Now, if you are stuck in your house, now's a good time, if you haven't been, get in touch with all your past clients, people that you worked with. Maria Lynn, Maria, she's one of my star Power Agents. She went from making 60 to 209 in just 12 months. But I'm going to tell you something about Maria. What's not on here is Maria did this when she was a single mom, because she was going through a nasty divorce at the same time and opening up a real estate company. Come on now. This woman going through all that, and this is what she did. And it's because I'm going to tell you what she told me. One of the reasons why is because what we tell our Power Agents, sometimes less is more. If you try and do too much, you can get overwhelmed. So the good thing, like the ebook that you all are getting, Power Agents and non-Power Agents, is the 12 ways to generate listings in the next 30 days. This webinar is teaching just 6 of those 12. The best thing is if you just focus on 1 or 2 and did that for 30 days, you'd see some miracles happen in your life. Now, one of the things I'm going to say, I want to point out the dialogue here, Power Agents, for calling past clients. He said, the third step says, I have to start off by saying I'm sorry that I lost touch with you. Things have been crazy good in our business right now, even with the current climate of the coronavirus. And I was thinking of all my clients that I've worked with in the past. You came to my mind. I just wanted to check on you, see how you folks are doing. So how are things with the house? And then you just start having a conversation with your past clients. This is not selling, we're serving. We're just talking to people. That's all this is. Power Agents, that dialogue is in the farming and self-promotion tab for you. That's where you're going to find that. Number 5, I want to leave time for questions. Houses for rent. I'm going to tell you, houses for rent are a great source of listing leads. Let me go back for a second. Here's why. There are people, this goes back to what I said earlier about investors. There's some investors that have these properties that they bought. They may be part-time investors. Maybe they bought to flip it. It wasn't successful at the time, so now they're renting it, whatever. Now they're like, you know what? I want to cash out because the market is still super good. If the market busts, if 20% unemployment and mortgage company, like if the worst happened, because that's how investors think. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. So I'm telling you, gang, there's people that are thinking about, man, if I could sell, I got to rent it right now because I'm bleeding money. But if somebody would pay me a good number, I'd get out of this. So look in your market for those houses that are the investors trying to rent it, and ask them, listen, if I had a buyer who's willing to buy the property and I move it for you, would you be interested in selling? So that's what that dialogue is. That's the concept to that. Dialogue. That's Power Agents. Don't forget everything that we're covering here. There's a tremendous amount of dialogue for you. There's even things I didn't even get into on this call. And those are all under the prospecting tab of the Power Program website. Number 6, the last one, and then we're going to open up the call to question, is social media posting. Now, one of the things that we're teaching the Power Agents is doing more Facebook Live or recordings on topics to post in the community. So listen, this is not hard to do. Here, I want you guys to look at me for a second. So I know some of you are reading, so let me stop you. Look at me. So here's what you do. You do not have to be a savant here and, you know, with cameras and that. Just take your phone and hit the record thing and just hold and talk into the naturally. Saying, hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty coming to you to give you your real estate local tip. You know, right now there's some questions about how do I show my house when it comes to this coronavirus, not let people in. One of the things I tell my clients to do is to take their own phone and actually do a virtual tour themselves. It's not complicated, just capture it. The one tip I'll give is turn your camera this way versus that, and that's a better shot. Anyway, here's my point, gang. You do not have to be, you know, a newscaster to do video. The one tip that I'll give you right now, this is not a virtual training thing right now, but real quick, is it's best if the videos are 2 to 3 minutes long, because that people will watch that. Anything longer than that, sometimes they'll lose interest and it gets shared more. So that's my tip on that, right? So anyway, we've given Power Agents, you have 35 things that you can actually talk about, right? So there's plenty of ideas there. Let me just skip that. Now, I was going to tell you, here's something else too. So Power Agents, and talk to them again for a second. You have your CRM that we launched for you, the Power Builder. Those of you that are not Power Agents, I want you to look at what I'm going to show you, because it's very possible that your CRM that you currently have has all these features, but you're not aware of it because you only know how to like use it as a Rolodex. You want to make sure whatever contact management system you use, and it's going to tie into the social media, so this, hang in there, is that it's mobile friendly, that you can use, that you can access your contacts easily on your own personal phone, that you don't have to be in front of a computer, where you can go through and dial your clients easily when you're on the go. So it's got to be mobile friendly. That's really important. The second thing is check to see if your CRM, like our CRM, our Power Builder, has a newsletter function built into it to send out, because in your CRM would be all of your buyers, your sellers, your past clients. How do you stay in touch with these people? You should be in front of them on a regular, consistent basis. And how you can do that is sending them an e-newsletter on a weekly basis. So make sure those of you that are not, if you don't have the Power Builder CRM, make sure the one that you have, see that and check up if it has the newsletter function. Website lead generation. Actually, I'm going to show you this in a second. Let's scoop over that. That it's easy to print out your list. Now listen, I'm very tech savvy. Julie, am I tech savvy, Julie?
You are very tech savvy. You are the app king.
What's that?
You are the king of apps.
I'm the king of apps. I got like 200 apps on my phone. But when it comes to prospecting, I still like paper. There's something about paper, looking at the thing, writing a note next to it. So you want to make sure, see, if I was listing and selling right now, I would love this feature where I can print out my leads in one shot, take it in the call with me, and I have my printed version and rattle out some calls. So see if your CRM does that. Automated campaigns. The thing I love about CRMs, like what we have in our Power Builder, is that you can put people into an automated campaign. So let's say if you get a new listing, and that new listing, they have to get a welcome letter, and then they have to get tips on how to get ready for showings. You can put them into that campaign, and it will automatically send out the emails on certain days at certain times. So you're not doing it every day. So, and that's just an example of the sellers. With buyers, prospects, automated campaigns. See if your CRM is doing that for you. Use that. Make sure you see if your CRM has a to-do list to help you stay focused on a daily basis on your tasks. But this is the part, this is what I wanted to get to. See, a lot of our Power Agents don't realize that their Power Builder CRM that they have has an automated social posting that their software, their CRM, will actually post to Facebook and Twitter automatically. It finds the articles for the power agent, posts it for that. Like, they don't do anything. Julie, the power agents that I've been talking to are telling me they are over the top excited about this automated posting.
They are. It just takes the pressure off them. It's kind of set and forget, and they don't have to worry about it. And they can
Yeah,
add to what they're doing socially, but they don't have to. The stress of what do I do today is off of them.
exactly. So this is what I mean about, you see, in this coronavirus world, gang, we have to get more digital than ever before. This is why, right, that's just why this is tip number 6 about you doing automated postings and making sure you have a strong website. Julie, we don't talk about this enough, but the Power Builder, our CRM gang, has a free website as part of it. So most of you already have a CRM, so you don't need this. But some of you have it and you're not happy with it. Now, the good thing that I love about this CRM is that when people use this CRM and somebody opts in because they want to go on your newsletter or something, what they don't realize is as they're filling in the opt-in on this Power Builder website, it's actually going into the Power Builder CRM contact portfolio. So it's all built. I'm really proud that we put this together. Okay, now, listen, before we open up the calls, I'm going to tell you something because I've said a lot of things today. This is for the non-power agents really quick. I'm going to encourage you to become a power agent today because it's only $27 a month, but more importantly, the first 30 days you only pay $5. You're going to get complete access to everything on the site. Nothing is restricted. You can get a copy of today's slides. I'm going to tell you something. I want to send you the slide of the interest rates. Some of these other letters and stuff, you'll have it all in. I mean, it's on the website for you, but it's here. Whatever you saw on the screen today, you're going to get sent to you. You know what you could do is you could sign up for the $5 and get the slides and go to the website, print everything out, and then cancel. So you can steal everything for $5. That's a deal. All right. Julie doesn't like when I say that. But anyway, here's the other thing you're going to get. Weekly coaching calls every Monday to help you stay focused, to keep so your attitude dictates your altitude, staying positive. There's a ton of webinars like we talked about, how to do the for sale by owners and expireds. We actually role played me calling live. There's the webinar next week that we're going to let the power agents know they won't miss it. There's the website that has all of these forms and checklists and dialogues, and there's literally over 200 different social media posts and things like that. The magazine, gang, this is the best event. If there was any time to be a power agent, now is the time to help you in this challenging time. The Facebook group, Power Agents are helping one another and brainstorming.
The best community.
It's really the best community. I mean, here's one said she was so pumped after one of the webinars. She got several listings. What'd she say? It took 3 weeks to follow. I got my first FSBO. There you go. That's what it was. So anyway, you guys can't lose with this. It is just incredible. It's the best. If there was
they get 30 days of the Power Builder for free when they join Power Agent program. They get 30 days of the Power Builder for free as well. So
That's
they can
right.
get the tires on the CRM. They can try all of our content. Most importantly, they can be on our calls every Monday, which are more important than ever. I mean, just listening to everybody, they're so happy that they have a community that they can turn to right now. So that's what we're excited about, because right now this is the time to be building that foundation, right? And the CRM is the perfect way to do that.
So absolutely, Julie. I'm so glad you said that. Now, how do you become a power agent? Let me just see what the next slide is you want to go to that web address at the bottom, thepowerprogram.com/webinar bonus. You want to go to that page because that's the page. When you sign up on that page, then we know you get a copy of the slides, you get the recording because we recorded this whole webinar. You'll get that. You'll get the other bonus, that other ebook of the 6 ways to double your income, which is a separate bonus from today's ebook that we give. So anyway, we give it so much for just a very less than $1 a day, but because that's who we are, we want to serve and help you guys Anyway, we're going to open it up to questions. Julie, was there any questions that these folks have? I saw a bunch of stuff happening here.
Yes. If what do we do about buyers who are afraid to commit to buying because they're afraid the market's going to crash?
Yeah, so here's what I would say to a buyer. There's a couple of things, and we're going to talk about this more on the Corona thing next week webinar. But being that you asked, I'll answer it now. Is that there's a couple of things. First of all, any serious buyer is going to still move forward in today's market even with this. So that helps you as an agent. Working with the real serious buyers. That's number one. Number two is but if they are still afraid and they're on the fence and you don't want to lose them, right? You would say to them, listen, Mary, Joe, and John, this is the time to buy. Here's why, because there's so many other buyers that they took themselves out of the market. You have less competition. That's number one. Number two is now you'll have more of a chance because to get the house that you want at the fair price without having to fight and outbid another buyer. The third thing is the interest rates have never been this low except for the last 7 years ago. And and here's the most important thing, answer to that question. Quote them Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the richest people in the world. And here's what he says. Be afraid when people are greedy, but be greedy when people are afraid. Right now, people are afraid to buy. This is why you should, because this is the time. You can't predict what's going to happen. One of two things could happen. One of three things are going to happen. One is that the market could go down for houses. Number two, the market could stay the same. Or number three is with the government bailout and everything else, the low interest rates, the market can continue to go up. Here's what I know about you, Mary and John, that you're not buying in stock and day trading. You're buying long term. 10 years from now, no matter what three choices happen, you're still okay if you buy today. But what I do know is if you don't buy today, then in the future, you could actually lose in a huge way. Because if prices go up or they don't crash or all that stuff, you've lost this valuable time. So don't let external outside forces dictate what you're committed to. What you're committed to is home ownership and raising a family. Let's do this. That's what I would say.
Awesome. What are the costs for the CRM after the 30 days?
I think there's two options. The highest price to get everything with the website, the social media posting, because the social media posting is an additional. The most is $49 a month. Julie, what is the other price? Do you remember? I think it's.
I'm looking at it now.
All right, you look at it. Julie will get us that answer.
Yeah,
so
that's 40, I think it's 29 if it's just the CRM, and it's 49 if they have the CRM plus the social stream.
That's exactly what it is. So just to get the contact management piece and everything, even the website is $29. It's the social media automated posting. That one additional is $20 on top of the 20. I'm making it 49, which is still like ridiculous. All right.
So if they have another CRM now, how easy is it to move over to ours?
Let me tell you something. The company that we've hired to do this for us is managing the tech support, and they have blown us away. Between you and I think their customer service is better than ours. Sorry, Julie. They are so incredible. On top of it, here's my point. They will help you download all of your leads from your current CRM on the phone, walk you through it, and import it into the new one like that. It's as smooth as silk, so it's not a problem. Next question.
Perfect. Should we be confirming FSBO appointments and letting FSBOs know that we can virtually show their home to reduce their risk?
Yes, what I would do is, great question. Who asked that question?
I don't know. I wrote it down.
Whoever asked it, great question. So here's what you would do. Because there's a couple answers to that. Number one is, do not address how you would deal with the potential fear and concern of the virus over the phone with the for sale by owner. If they ask that question over the phone, you want to just get in the door. Say, you know what? There's several, my company has put together strategic plans that help in this new real estate reality. So let me come over and have a conversation with you and explain it to you. Now, if they're concerned about even having you over, then literally what you have to do, and we're going to cover this next week, is just like I'm doing this webinar here, gang, you would do a similar thing with a for sale by owner. The only thing is you don't want it to be, this is a webinar, which is, you see me, I don't see you. I can't hear you. You can only hear me. You've got to use the chat. That's not what you want. What you need to learn is the technology on how to have them on the screen with you on the screen and having it be a dialogue back and forth while still having the option to show your listing book on the screen like you see what you see right now on the screen. So we're going to talk about that next week. And but to continue to answer that question, when you are face to face with the seller, you say, well, how do you deal with that? You say, and showing the property. There's a couple of ways that we do that. Number one is we make sure that we know who's coming to your house. We take a picture of their license, so we have all their contact information. Number two is we actually take their temperature using an infrared gun like the White House when they had the press conference, and we check everybody's temperature because that's the number one sign that shows that somebody might have the virus. The third thing is we discourage them touching any surfaces. Number four is we encourage them to have their own gloves because it's hard to find gloves nowadays. So before they enter, they would put on whatever winter gloves that they have. That'll prevent their skin touching any of the surfaces. And in some cases, we actually will also clean your property after an open house if we do it that way. And open houses are done differently. We don't have people coming all the time. So there's a lot to say to that. I'm going to cover that all next week. What else, Julie?
Perfect. When you're calling FSBOS and get a lot of voicemails, how can you achieve more contacts after leaving a voicemail?
Great question. So one of the dialogues, but by the way, before we go, what time is it? I'm going to make this the last question. Listen, gang, this website at the screen, thepowerprogram.com/webinar bonus, this offer is not staying up for too long. So go to the site right away, like now, and secure your spot so we can email you all of the bonuses and free stuff. I want you to get this stuff right away. So please do that right now. But to finish with that last question, I already lost it, Julie. What was the question?
If you're getting a lot of voicemails, how can you achieve more contacts after leaving a voicemail?
Yeah, so first of all, if you use the Red X, they have what's called Storm Dialer, where they'll actually call for you and leave voicemails for you when the system, the computer recognizes it's a voicemail answering. So you can burn through a tremendous amount of calls with the Storm Dialer. So for those of you, when you become a power agent, ask us about the Red X and we will send you a link to get all of that stuff for free for that 30-day trial. Okay. The dialogue, though, that you can leave is, hi, I'm calling about your house. I see that it's for sale. I have some important information. I possibly could have somebody who might be even interested in, but first I need to get some information. Do you mind calling me as soon as you can? Because this is kind of time sensitive. And let me see if there's a way we can help you with that. My cell number is, so that's the dialogue. You're teasing them, creating a sense of that you might have something for them. They're going to call you back. Our power agents tell us that dialogue, they get calls back 50% of the time. Now that dialogue too is one of the dialogues that's in the prospecting tab of the Power Program website. All right, so Julie, I think we covered a tremendous amount in a short period of time. I want to thank you all for taking the time to be in this. We're very committed to you. Listen, I'm going to say this last thing to you all, and it's this, is keep in mind what I said. We're living in a new reality, but the key word in what I just said is we're living. We're living in a new reality. We just need to figure this out. So don't freak out. As a professional, you need to be a beacon. You need to have the answers for the buyers and sellers. They need to come to you for confidence and strategies. And this is why we're here for you too. So make sure you use and abuse us. We are here. Every Monday, we're going to have the coaching calls live where I can hear you and you ask me questions. And the Facebook group, use the Facebook group, talk to one another, brainstorm. This is the time for us as power agents to come together. Julie, thanks for moderating this. God bless you all, gang, and have a wonderful day.
Next week's webinar.
Yes. Make sure we're be on next week's webinar. It's gonna be important. And we're gonna send you information, Power Agents. So don't worry about when it is or what link. We're gonna take good care of you, as you know we always do. All right, gang. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and keep smiling.
Thanks, everybody.